Ta-da! Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries. Who do we have here today? Go ahead and comment below. Let me know. Our friend Steve is not here today because he's moving his World Nerve Center headquarters to a new location, undisclosed as of yet. But he's going to be taking his dollar store magic trick thing and bringing it all over there, and all of his magic props and even his personality is going with him to that place wherever he's going. I'm not sure where it is, but today it's me. And I'm not going to stay on here for long because I don't have anybody to interact with unless you want to come on here. If you click that link that I threw in the Magicians for Seniors group, that will allow you to get into the green room, and then I will check and make sure your camera is on and there's no weirdos in there. I mean, we're all weirdos, aren't we? That's a challenge. As long as you're decent, I'll see your camera, and then you're in the green room. I can bring you on. So who do we got? We got a couple comments already. Woo! We have a Yoda Master. Oh, anonymous. We've also got Mark Price out of California. Early bird. I like that. I spent a couple years in California, a couple years in Glendora, Covina area, or 1 year, and then another year working on Jaw Droppers. You remember Jaw Droppers? I worked with Larry Anderson on that over in Studio City, North Hollywood, Burbank area. That's where I was for a little while. There we got somebody that's weird. And we've got a howdy. Somebody weird and a howdy. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about marketing because that's one of my things. For those that don't know, I started doing magic, got an interest in magic when I was like 4 or 5 years old. A guy pulled a quarter out of my ear. He did a little French drop technique and he made it disappear, and then he pulled the quarter out of my ear. It fascinated me, got me interested in magic, and I started dabbling in it, playing around. And then grade school, high school, I actually started performing, doing hospitals and churches, making a little bit of money. And then as time went on, I graduated barely in 1975 from Fridley High School here in Minnesota. And someone said, you should get a job. So I did. I got a job at the Anoka County Parks Department, and I worked for about 4 years, and then I got laid off, and I thought, what the hell's going on? What do we have here? Someone said, we are going to collaborate and spotlight many companies. Well, I don't know about that. Here's some mail that I got just recently, yesterday. The Blue Cross Blue Shield, they want to tell me about Medicare because I'm 65 and getting up there. And here's somebody that's doing a retirement program. And this came to me. It's going to be done at a school right by me. So they're targeting, obviously, seniors for some reason. And here's what I did when I was working magic full time. Basically through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it was kind of full time. I did some odd jobs here and there, but primarily it was magic gigs. And I was targeting corporate events because there's a lot of corporate here in Minneapolis. We got General Mills, Pillsbury, Medtronic, 3M, Honeywell, Target Corporation, Best Buy Corporation. The Mayo Clinic is in Rochester, that's just south of Minneapolis. There's a lot of corporate here. So what I did is I wanted to target corporate events, and I developed a database of all the corporate event planners. And then I also started hanging out with, I joined the Minneapolis Convention and Visitors Association. So I was hanging out with all my colleagues, other people that do events, the limousine companies, the florists, the hotels, the caterers, the balloon decorators, the prop houses, all these people that also do events. And I learned about an organization called Meeting Professionals International. And those are all the certified meeting professionals, CMPs. And they're from the big companies. And they are in charge of doing all the different meetings that these big corporations do. And oftentimes these meetings have entertainment. So these people that do these meetings also end up helping with the company picnic and the holiday party and the sales meetings and planning the trade show marketing and the upper management meetings and retirement parties and client appreciation events and employee appreciation events. So that's where I was focusing. But over the years, I got tired of chasing the event planner because making these phone calls. Are you planning any? Yes, telemarketing can work, but it's very time intensive. And what happens when you make a phone call, anytime you call someone else, they're probably not waiting for your call. So you are an interruption in their daily life. So I never liked to do the telephone thing. What I did was I would do events. I would collaborate with other, like the hotels, they do tastings and things for weddings. And they invite their past clients who are a lot of corporate planners and then wedding planners, brides about to be. They invite them to these soirees where you taste their food and experience their stuff. And they would pull together other people, like the people that do the centerpieces and the decor and put up the balloons and the streamers and the fabric treatments. And for outdoor events, they need tents, they need portable restrooms, they need staging, and they need bleachers and fencing and all that stuff. So all those people were all working together, and I would collaborate with them because we're all looking for the same person, that event planner, the person that's planning the next event, whether it be a corporate event or it might be a wedding, or it might be an association convention, or it might be a fair or festival or city celebration or a fundraiser or a gala or an auction or all these different events, tons of them. So you could go to any hotel back in the day and look at their roster of the events that were happening. And there's morning meetings, little coffee meetings, all the way up to, lunch presentations where I was a magician walking around doing the tables for their lunch. And then at night, they're doing some kind of banquet and they might have some music and I would be performing either on the stage or walking around strolling. So there's events everywhere. All you have to do is get yourself in front of these people that plan. Now, something that Steve and I, we get along pretty good. We have similar mindset. And some of the things that when we're thinking about, okay, they don't have the budget. A lot of times people think, well, like the senior centers, they don't have the budget. They've only got $150 or $250. It's not always true. Granted, the care provider person, that's the activities coordinator, I guess you'd call them. See, I don't do senior shows. I've done one in my career, and that was just recently because we've been talking about this. But these people that are coordinating this thing, their job is to just make sure that the seniors have something to do and keep them entertained and happy. And they've got a small budget because the big corporate doesn't want to be wasting all their money. Unfortunately, that's the way they're thinking. They don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on that. They're putting their money into marketing. How are they going to be prominent and bring in more seniors to, rent residence? I guess that's what it is. That's really what they're looking for. So if you take it and shift your thinking to a marketing mindset, you can add a zero onto your fee. Don't put it in front, put it behind. Now there's organizations that are managers of these properties. So there's one organization that might be a senior center management company. If you target that person that is the marketing person for that, in one fell swoop, you can probably put you on a retainer where you just circulate through these senior centers. They might operate 6 or 16 different venues. And there's organizations that have these managers. One of them locally here is there's a St. Paul chapter and a Minneapolis chapter. Minneapolis and St. Paul are the twin cities, for those that don't know, separated by a river. And there's BOMA, which stands for Building Owner Managers Association. So all these people that own these buildings, these apartment complexes and care centers, retirement facilities, if they own that building, that's the organization that has the managers that are there. And you just need to go one step up and find out who's marketing this place so they have somebody to manage. So a way of doing this, again, going back to the telemarketing thing, I don't do telemarketing. I do postcards. Steve and I are both big advocates of postcards. I would mail out postcards to these people, and I would invite them. Say if I had a restaurant gig, I would invite them to come out to have dinner at the restaurant that I'm performing at. And I would work out a deal with the restaurateur to give them a complimentary hors d'oeuvre or appetizer or a dessert. And I would put that on the postcard, and I would invite them, bring this card in for your complimentary dessert. And when they bring in that card, I know that they're not just Jack and Jill on date night. It's the marketing manager that I mailed it to. So it qualifies them. And I know that that person is in a different mindset of the $150. They're thinking $1,500 a month or $3,500 a month as a marketer kind of guy, maybe $5,000 a month, bigger stuff. I personally don't like getting into the big giant numbers. I know some people, we've got a magician here, Dan Witkowski, you might have heard of him. He did the Super Bowl halftime show, and those are big giant numbers. That blows my mind, that kind of stuff where they got these crazy $100,000 budgets and they just, anyways, I digress back to where I was talking about. So I noticed that nobody's actually wanted to come in here yet. And I get that because a lot of people on this thing are anonymous, like all these people that have commented. You don't know who these people are. And that's the way it is these days. People don't want to know anybody to know who they are. But I've said what I'm going to say pretty much. The idea of doing an event, I've got my event that I'm doing. This is an event that I started back in 1991. It's for event planners, and I do it here in Minneapolis. And back in the day, I used to get about 2,000 event planners, a lot of the big corporate, and then smaller companies, maybe 50 or 100 or 500 employees. And they would come to this event looking for all the resources that they're trying to find. Here's a picture. This is an actual picture when I did it a few years back. They are looking for things like face painters and clowns and jugglers and tents and limousine services and name badges and lanyards and printed materials and these tchotchkes, these little things with your logo printed on them and all that stuff. They're looking for all that stuff. So I would create this event, which the people would come to me and they would fill out a little form that says, my name is Tammy, I'm from 3M Corporation. We're doing a company picnic for 3,000 employees at Tartan Park, and we're looking for a pig roaster and a tent and a bouncy thing for the kids and a magician and a juggler. And I go, there's my lead. I know how much money they had. They wrote it on a little thing. We got $15,000 budget. And I would know that they had some money and they had a date set for their company picnic and they're looking for a magician. So that was easy for me to book those kind of gigs. And a postcard I could send out back in the day then, I think it was like 11 cents. I could send out a postcard, 11 or 15 or something like that. And I would just consistently send out postcards to the right people. And those right people would eventually call me up and say, hey, are you available on this date? I would check my calendar. If they said, yeah, send me something, we'll think about it. And then I would pencil the date in with a pencil so I could erase it if they said no. And when they sent me my money for a deposit, I would highlight it. And that way I knew I had a gig. And it was fairly easy back then. So the idea of creating a mini event, and we'll use an example, use the seniors event. If you worked and collaborated with another person that's looking for that senior audience, say they're a medical equipment seller or renter. They got those supply houses. You partner up with that person. Maybe you work with somebody that is doing that Medicare stuff that they want to talk to that senior audience. Or maybe an insurance person, or you might work with maybe there's a resort, a retirement resort. And you work with these people and collaborate and do like a little summit or a workshop. And each one of you can get up on the stage and on the platform and talk to the group and tell them a little bit about what you offer and how you serve that community. And that audience can be, part of it can be seniors, part of it might be senior center event coordinators, whatever you want to call those people, facilitators. The other element of it might be these marketing managers that deal with the bigger element of it. It might be the association. There's senior associations. There's also little groups. So you work with all these people, put them all in the same room, have them fill out some information so you can learn a little bit more about when their event is and how much money they got and when they're going to give it to you. And that's easier way to do it. I'm 65 now. I'm semi-retired. I'm an entrepreneur, so I can't quit. But I'm not that interested in gigging so much anymore. So I'm not really pursuing the performance element of things. I'm doing more digital marketing and promoting my event suppliers. So that's the story, Morning Glory. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. If you go to magicbradmarketing.com, I built a little page that has a lot of the stuff that I do. And in the lower right of that page, magicbradmarketing.com, I wonder if I got the thing here. Hang on a sec. I do, right? No, I don't. Dag nabbit. See, sometimes you don't have what you want here. You can just go to my main website, and somewhere on there you can see marketing. And it goes to Magic Brad Marketing. On the Magic Brad Marketing page, when you click on magicbradmarketing.com, in the lower right, there's a group of PDFs that's about event marketing. It's an event planner, event marketer toolbox. There's prices on those, but I will waive the prices. If you want it, you see one of those documents and you're interested in, just contact me and I'll shoot it over to you via email or whatever. They're not expensive. They're only $9 or $50 or $20. They're small things, but I'll give it to you, whatever you want, for free. Don't just ask for all of them, because then I got to work too hard to send them to you. But just, yeah. Okay. That's all I got for you. Next week, we'll be back with Mr. Steve. So that's all I got. Peace, love, and happiness. This is the end of the day. Enjoy it. Be good. Be kind. Be nice. Did I say be nice? Be nice.